Hello, everybody.
How's it going, you guys?
How are you guys? Hey, as you're hopping on, please let us know where it is you're coming in from. Say hello. That way we can have this as interactive as we possibly can. You guys, if we haven't met before, my name is Tim Graff.
And I am Becky Graff.
And we help home business entrepreneurs leverage powerful online strategies to create the perfect lifestyle business.
Yes, and right now, what we wanted to talk about tonight is a lot of people are really struggling to build their business on social media.
Yep.
They're finding themselves, doing all the things and really not getting the results that they're looking for in their business. So they're more so repelling people than attracting them. And Tim and I can definitely appreciate that. That's
Absolutely.
Where we came from when we first started. We were really stuck in that rut where we were really struggling to get people to connect with us, really attempting to grow our audience, and felt like we were really spinning our wheels.
Yes.
So we really wanted to have a conversation and a dialogue about what it might be that you might be missing in your business. Okay, it's the thing that Tim and I were missing when we first got started just over 2.5 years ago, and how this applies to you and your business, especially now. Again, doesn't matter if we're in transition with things with COVID, the things that are happening now, but also what was happening before. This is an opportunity for us to all work together and for you to identify some places in your business that might need a little bit of love.
And you guys, right now is actually a prime time to be building, especially an online business, because, well, we're in quarantine, right? Everybody's at home, a lot of more people online. Now is a prime time to be building an online business.
Well, and to that point, one of the highest searched keywords right now on Google is how to make money from home.
Yep.
Okay. It used to be a big thing before because there's a lot of people who wanted to be out of their corporate 9-to-5s, but now more than ever, people are looking for a plan B because what they've been doing, their idea of having job security, again, like in 2008, is another, we're there again. It's not necessarily the security that they were looking for. And so they're looking for options.
Yes.
Okay. You as building a business have an option for people. So what is it then that is keeping you from connecting with those people?
And as you guys are hopping on, I'm curious, let us know in the comments what you think it is. What is, what is keeping people from building, those that may be struggling right now to build that online business? What is that piece that they might be missing? What is the thing that they're struggling to build an online business? What do you think it is? Drop it in the comments, you guys. Yeah, or what might you be struggling with if you feel comfortable sharing? Okay, what is that thing that you may be struggling a little bit with building an online business? Or maybe you were doing it offline and you're transitioning to an online business. What is that thing that you're running up against that seems to be the struggle? Okay, let us know in the comments if you feel comfortable dropping that. Otherwise, if you guys want to PM us personally, that's just fine. We have a messenger as well. We'd love to help you and to see if we can't help you work through that.
Yeah, because again, Tim and I, we've been there, you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, when we started building our business, we were sending copy paste messages to people. I got 4 or 5 of those today from people.
Yep.
Okay, and
we've been getting more of them.
and that's the thing, though. It's taking the offline skills that you might have been using and transitioning them online. That is kind of where a lot of people fall. And that's where we were, instead of going out to the mall or going out to coffee shops, having conversations with people, commenting on their shoes, making a connection, and then saying, hey, do you keep your options open? That tactic has just been shifted online.
Yep.
Okay. And it is not as effective as it could be. And it's because of this thing that most people are missing. And it's what Tim and I were missing when we got started as well.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And what that thing is a very specific skill set.
Yes.
Okay. We were missing some very core important skills with building a business online, because in traditional marketing, you have skills that you need to have that they're not necessarily tied to making a list of friends and family. That doesn't require a lot of actual skills, but getting people to a meeting, and those people who are presenting from the front of the room, they required skill sets. Closing is a skill set. Marketing your business online, especially using social media, requires certain skills, the development of specific skills. So if you're finding yourself sending out copy paste messages, you're friending up lots of people, but you're not getting what you're wanting in return, if you're not having that the result that you're looking for, it might be because you're missing some very fundamental skills to help you move through that process.
Yeah, let's face it. It really doesn't take a lot of skill to send out a copy paste message, especially if you're using scripts and stuff like that. It doesn't really require a lot of skill to simply send out a copy paste, or to simply just send out a hey girl or to strike up a conversation with somebody. It's actually the skill of walking them through a process, okay, and getting them to periodically raise their hand and say yes, because that's just it. Is if you can get them to walk through a process or a flow, a funnel, if you will, okay, you can actually get them to raise their hand numerous times. And the more you get them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in what you have, and yes, that would help me, or yes, this, then you're getting them to say yes to you, which takes pretty much the closing process right out of there to begin with.
And I'm curious, how many of you would feel more at ease having conversations with people if you didn't feel like you had to hard sell them on something?
Yeah.
Okay. People don't like to be sold to. They don't. They love to buy.
Love to buy. Exactly. People love to buy, but we don't like to be sold.
And if you can think about when, before we were in this situation, when you would go out to purchase something, when you're out the mall browsing, the moment you walked in, and this is for me, and maybe you can relate to this.
Yep.
The moment I had a salesperson come up, and it didn't matter if it was clothing, didn't matter if it was furniture, didn't matter if it was appliances. Well, if they came up and they said, hey, can I help you? My first response always, even if I had intention to buy something, is I'm just looking.
Or even if you necessarily needed help, sometimes it was no, I'm okay. Okay. Because we want to take that initiative on our own to, if I want help, I'm going to go ask for it. I'm going to go approach them. There's always that stigma around people approaching you and wanting you, to buy something or wanting to push a sale upon you. We have that immediately, that wall goes up and we have that guard. And we don't really like that. It's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. So when you're talking about building business online, okay, your prospects still feel that. Even though they're a computer screen away from you, they still feel that pressure. They don't want to they're not on social media first off to buy your product or to join an opportunity. That's not the purpose of them being here. The purpose is them to connect and be educated on things, okay, to have more of a relationship, especially now, okay, when things are different than they used to be. There's a lot more need for connection. And you guys, it takes a level of skill to be able to lead somebody through a process where you can develop know, like, and trust and influence so that they want to buy your product or join your team. Okay, so I have a question for you. Knowing what you know now, based on what we've been talking about, what skills do you currently have? And also, what skills might you need to develop? And to that point, where do you have resources to develop those skills? Is that something that your current company provides for you?
Yeah.
Is that something that you're part of maybe a training group that has been working for you? Do you have access to the information needed to hone those skill sets so that you can have a thriving business online?
And we're talking about a process that really walks people through, like I said a minute ago, a process and a flow of a funnel, if you will, an opportunity to put your opportunity out in front of people and be able to have them raise their hand, like I said just a minute ago, yes to you numerous times. Because again, that is warming them up to you. Okay, it is getting them to say yes through a process so that by the time you actually get to the point of, hey, are you interested in my product? Are you interested in my team? Are you interested in whatever it is you have to offer them? They've already said numerous times, and they're like, yeah, I want in. Like, whatever you're doing is working. This is killer.
And what would that do for you?
Yeah. Okay? What would that do for your business?
For your business, for sure. But what would that do for your confidence? What would that do for you as a leader to have people who are interested in joining your team reach out to you? Okay, because there is a difference between you constantly putting forth the effort to make connections and start conversations. Okay, and this really goes back to a live that we did last week about what type of business do you want to build? Do you want to build a business where you actually have freedom of time if you have leverage, both financial and time leverage? Or are you wanting just to build a business where you're constantly in motion all the time? Yeah. Because again, the skill sets that are required for those those businesses have some similarities, yet there are some fundamental differences. Yeah. Okay. If you want to have more leverage, then developing digital marketing skill sets is going to be something that you're going to want to spend some time learning how to develop so that then you do actually have true leverage.
Yes.
Okay. That business that works while you're sleeping kind of leverage.
Yeah. And these skills that you need to learn are things that use digital systems. Okay. They're online systems that actually walk people through a process. So you don't necessarily have to be involved. That is the key thing. So it's not like you're constantly having to send out these messages. You're not constantly having to do the skills and these kinds of things. You learn the skill once you put these processes, these digital online process into play, and it really does the work for you. So it's really a leverage system that works even when you're not there. Because otherwise, if you're constantly out there striking up conversations with people in Messenger, you may notice that, you may strike up a conversation with somebody in Messenger, you send them a friend request, you strike up that conversation. How many of you get stuck in that rat race of the constant, hamster wheel, if you will, of you strike up a conversation and the conversation goes great at first, and then all of a sudden you get to, hey, I have an opportunity. Do you want to check it out? And then suddenly they disappear.
The ghosting. Suddenly they've gone on the witness protection program, okay, and you can't get a hold of them. So it's on to the next the next friend request and the next Messenger conversation. You're constantly just chasing people that way. It's not a leveraged system that works. It is not something, it definitely requires a lot of your time. Okay, but it's not a leverage system that gets people that wants to constantly raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm interested in what it is you're doing. Yeah,
it's called golden handcuffs.
Okay.
And you're constantly, just going around that little hamster wheel.
And to be fair, when you first start in this industry, that's kind of where you need to start. Okay, you start with your warm market. Okay, people who know, like, and trust you already, and then you work to develop these skills as you go and put into play processes that can do that heavy lifting for you, like Tim's talking about. Excuse me. So you're not constantly doing all those reach outs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that saying that doing reach outs and things like that is bad? Okay. That's not effective at all? Absolutely not. However, the question is, again, what type of business do you want to have?
Yeah.
What type of business do you want, and what type of leaders do you want to duplicate in your team? Do you want to duplicate those that are leveraging systems, or do you want to put in the grueling effort all the time? And
it also depends with that effort. It also depends on your level of influence. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you have a large following, if you are, somebody who has a lot of influence over a lot of people, it may be a situation where you could reach out, you could send those requests and say, hey, check this out. You got to take my word for it. And they're going to do that. Okay. So it does also depend on your level of influence. But for most people that do not have a high level of influence, they do need to learn the skills to be able to attract from a cold market, so to speak, to attract people to them to build that influence.
Yeah. And absolutely accurate on that. The influence piece, when you talk about people that go from, overnight success that you see and you're like, how come I can't do that? It's typically because they do have that influence already.
Exactly.
But if you were like Tim and I, who started out, okay, we barely had a Facebook footprint when we got started.
Exactly.
Okay. We didn't have influence over a large network of people when we got started. So we had to develop the skills of learning how to attract our tribe. We had to learn about our target market. We had to learn about how to do Facebook Lives. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a lot of skills that we developed over time, okay, that have allowed us to really maximize and leverage our business right now. Okay. Yep. And so this conversation is about, if you're struggling to build your business, I'm curious if you've actually taken the time to identify what skills you currently have, mm-hmm. okay, and which ones you might want to learn how to develop.
Or maybe you're just simply not sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe you're new, you're just getting started in this. Maybe you're still sending out those messages and you haven't mm-hmm. quite got to that point where it's fallen apart on you. Okay, because trust me, if you haven't, you will. It happened to us, and it's happened to a lot of people that we talk to.
If you don't have skills. Okay?
Yes,
it
exactly.
will fall apart if you don't have skills. If you're not
exactly.
investing yourself in
mm-hmm.
learning and growing, just like any business, okay, any professional, you have to practice and hone your craft.
Yep.
That is skill development. That's leadership development. All of those things work together.
And that's exactly what I was getting at. Thank you. Yes. So you guys, if you're interested in learning some of these skills that we've been talking about, how to develop these skills, where to develop these skills. If you like I said just a second ago, if you have no clue what skills it is you need to gain, we actually have a private Facebook group that is right now, it actually started last night, was the very first training, okay, and it goes live again tonight for day 2 of a 5-day training that actually draws out, it teaches you the skills, the processes mm-hmm. to build an effective team, okay, a leveraged system,
yes,
leverage skills, okay, to build this team. Mm-hmm. that actually for the next 30 days, this program will give you a kind of that guidebook on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in learning about that, this training is normally given at $200 value, okay? But it is open right now for free in this private Facebook group.
By invite only, you guys.
Yeah, it is an invite only.
So this is something you can
Mhm.
get specifically from us as an invitation to you.
Yep.
We wanted to share, because this is a system that we are using. This is a process
Yes.
that we've been using, and we've been able to add, what was it?
It's 26.
26 people over the last 12 days into our organization, into our team. And we're giving you kind of like the behind the scenes peek
Yep.
of what that looks like. We've got some amazing 6 and 7 figure trainers that are going to be sharing and delivering that information.
Yes.
So we will drop the link in the comments
Yep.
for you to gain access to that. Make sure you put Tim and Becky Graff sent you so that you can get in.
Yes.
And again, it's going to be tonight at, is it 9?
It's 9 Eastern.
9 Eastern?
Yep. And
Okay.
don't worry if you missed a replay, like for instance, like I mentioned last
Mhm.
night, the replay is in the group.
Yes.
So you'll be able to catch that as well.
And if you missed yesterday, because today is day 2 of the challenge, it will be in the unit section, so you can go ahead and watch the replay. So
Absolutely.
again, this is a 30-day lockdown challenge that
Yep.
we're being a part of, because we really wanted to give back and help people who were struggling like we were learn how to really leverage their time, especially now because we are in quarantine, we are locked down. There's not a lot of other things to do that are taking necessarily our time, unless
Yep.
it's like Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's a great opportunity for you to really lean into yourself and develop those skills and reach out and find out, okay,
Yep.
based on what I know about myself, I think I'm here, but what other information might I actually use and leverage? Okay, this training is phenomenal. Again, it's typically
Yes, it is.
sold for $200. That is being given to you if you take
Yep.
action to it or take advantage of it.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to be able to give you access to that so that you can learn some additional things that you might be able to do differently to move your business forward, to enroll new teammates, get new customers, and really get the traction during this time that you're needing. Okay.
Absolutely. So you guys check that link out. I will drop it in the comments right after we end this live. We appreciate you hopping on and spending some time with you. The hearts, loves, and likes. You guys be curious, be bold, take action, and remember that it is choice, not chance, that shapes your life.
Take care, you guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.